Angel Reese is absolute trash. 0 for 8. What superstar really does that?
Why are Angel Reese's teammates upset about her declining statistics and deteriorating reputation? After only a few games in her second WNBA season, Rhea has become the worst plus-minus player in league history. What causes this historic collapse, and why are her teammates reportedly done with her? We'll learn the startling truth about her league-worst plus-minus and the repercussions in the Chicago Sky locker room. Could her WNBA career be in jeopardy due to her fixation with Caitlin Clark?
Angel Reese had her worst professional basketball game, and I'm not even stretching that out. That's not me trying to be overly elaborate, trying to really make it sound awful. No, she was bad.
Angel as a starting point. Reese missed every single shot in her 0 for 8 game, which is not the kind of performance you expect from a player who once carried herself as one of women's basketball's rising stars. Her turnovers added insult to injury that game, leaving both fans and commentators wondering what exactly she's bringing to the floor. Reese's numbers this season are not just disappointing, they're historic, and not in a good way.
0 of 8 from the field, 12 rebounds, of which I believe 8 were offensive. It was a terrible, terrible showing. Turnovers, the whole team stink.
One analyst didn't hold back when describing the performance as complete garbage. It sounds harsh, but it's difficult to argue with her statistics presented. Other than that, her league worst plus-minus is what truly sticks out. If you're unfamiliar with that statistic, let's explain it. Plus-minus indicates how the scoreboard shifts during a player's play. If your team outscores the opposition during your minutes on the court, you receive a positive plus-minus. If your team is outscored, it falls into the negatives.
Worst plus-minus in all of the WNBA is, in fact, you guessed it, Angel Reese. 9 out of the bottom 14 are Chicago players.
Reese's numbers put her dead last in the league from 9 of the bottom 14 points, but she's not just in the negatives. Players from the Chicago Sky are in plus-minus this season, but Reese is in a different league when she plays. The Sky aren't just losing, they're losing badly, which is a sign of a player who hasn't established themselves in the league and goes beyond 1 or 2 poor games.
Angel Reese threw 2 games, 5 of 22. With 10 turnovers. The Sky's minus 60-point differential is the worst through a team's first 2 games in WNBA history.
Even though everyone has bad nights and some players go through rocky patches, Reese's difficulties go beyond a run of subpar play. Evaluate her shooting percentage. A player who has lost her rhythm and may not be genuinely suited to the WNBA's fast-paced and intense style is depicted by her turnover rate, which breaks down her missed layups, poor passes, and blown offensive rebounds.
The Chicago Sky don't want to win. Angel Reese needs to come off the bench. She's terrible. She doesn't do anything to help the team win or be better.
Not only does she not score, but she also gives up valuable opportunities by turning the ball over at vital times, interrupting her team's momentum. These are issues that cannot be resolved by just leaping more shots. The Chicago Reese's statistics clearly contribute to the fact that Sky is failing as a team. Following their opening 2 games, the Sky had the largest 60-point deficit in league history, which alone shows how badly everyone on the club is playing, but especially Rhea.
Coming from a Sky fan, Angel Reese is the worst basketball player I've ever watched.
From a Sky enthusiast, not only is Angel Reese the worst basketball player I've ever seen in terms of metrics, but his high-profile on-court errors also depress players' spirits when he makes a mistake. Ball or makes an awful shot. Although statistics don't fully convey the situation, they did raise some uncomfortable concerns, such as if her difficulties are due to problems with her style of play. Her teammates aren't only losing possessions, they're also losing confidence.
Angel Reese with the game's worst plus-minus at minus 25, complete trash. Anyone defending that worthless shit talker needs to find better hobbies. It's getting ugly.
The player's high turnover rate indicates shaky decision-making, and her missed easy shots suggest a lack of focus or composure under pressure. Could these struggles be mental, or is it a sign that she hasn't adjusted her skills to meet the demands of professional play here? Fans were expecting dominance in the paint, the ability to grab offensive rebounds and score off second chances, or at least strong defensive performances.
But Sky fans, it was going to get interesting because you would start seeing the basketball fans rise to the top and the Reese fans start separating down towards the bottom.
Furthermore, consider how her performance might be impacting the locker room dynamic when a player continually detracts from their team's chances and puts up numbers this poor. Fans are already vocal about their anger, so when the audience turns against you, it adds even more pressure. It's guaranteed to cause stress, and not just with the coaching staff. Coworkers may begin to doubt if she belongs in the rotation.
When they start seeing more of what they saw last night, they're going to start going, wait a minute. Are you telling me there's not a single person we can find that we can put in there that's going to be better than that? Not only that, but her play may be hampering the development of your superstar big you got in there?
The query is if these problems are specific to basketball or if they suggest a deeper issue with Rhee herself. One thing is certain. These numbers are more than a slump. They're a warning sign that something needs to change quickly. But is it only a matter of skill and work ethic, or could her off-court distractions be affecting her performance? That's what we need to examine next.
Caitlin Clark is that fine perfume that attracts people. Or Caitlin Clark is. Angel Reese is rage. She's a repellent. And that is the reality.
Angel Reese has placed a lot of emphasis on her rivalry with Caitlin Clark, which first appeared to be a wise decision given that rivalries often sell tickets, generate excitement, and encourage others to step up. But the story of this relationship is becoming unbalanced as Reese struggles on the court and Clark thrives.
And this has been so obvious since they met in the national championship game where Angel Reese started trolling her right after the game. They win a championship and your first thoughts are, I gotta go mock the star of the other team.
Ree's open mockery of Clark during LSU's championship game celebration during their college years sparked headlines and a debate in the sports media that followed both players into the WNBA. Ree hasn't hesitated to make subtle jabs, but the issue is that rivalries rely heavily on individual success to remain relevant, and Clark is far ahead.
Caitlin Clark has never done anything to Angel Reese other than make her famous.
Fans can't help but compare the two because the media loves drama and the Reese-Clark storyline has been magnified to such an extent. But Ree hasn't benefited from the attention, as Clark is scoring at a career-high rate and precisely managing her Indiana Fever team. Angel finds it more difficult to maintain the rivalry because of Ree's difficult season, which has been marred by expensive errors and poor shooting.
Angel Reese allegedly is, the rival to Caitlin Clark and, just a cut below Caitlin Clark.
What can Ree contribute to maintain their competitiveness if Clark is winning not only games but also the league's attention and respect? The constant pressure to perform well next to Clark may be keeping her from concentrating on what matters most for her own game and her team. To put it plainly, there is no way Angel Reese can keep pretending that she doesn't dislike Caitlin Clark, but his argument went beyond their relationship to include how it affects Reese's.
People, and I believe RG3 might have been one of them initially, who are saying that Angel Reese is just a basketball player. She's done nothing wrong, and she's just a hard-nosed player, and there should be no jealousy, who are now stating the obvious. I see a lot of parallels here between the two subjects and how people are now suddenly coming around.
It's simple to see how Reese's priorities can be skewed if this contest has become personal. She has been the center of attention for all the wrong reasons lately, which has just increased the pressure when Ree takes the court. It feels like she's trying to prove something to Clark herself, fans, and critics, and that type of mental burden can bring any player down.
Got her from the field. They put a super team around Caitlin Clark because people want to play with Caitlin Clark.
Additionally, there is a clear contrast between Clark's circumstances and Reese's. Clark plays for what some refer to as a super squad in Indiana that is tailored to her strengths. Rhea is managing a struggling Chicago Sky squad in the meantime, and it's obvious that nothing is fitting around her, which only makes the divide worse.
The Indiana Fever went out this offseason and got one of the most accomplished coaches in the WNBA to come in and coach Caitlin Clark because they saw it as a great opportunity, Stephanie White.
While Rhea is stuck fighting her rivals and attempting to defend her position on a team that is in dire need of a leader, Clark enjoys the luxury of concentrating on winning games and blocking out the noise. What happens when your focus is diverted from supporting your own team and toward chasing down rivals? It's difficult to overlook the irony that by focusing so much on her rivalry with Clark Rhee, she may be losing the support of her coaches and teammates, who are the ones that matter most.
The Chicago Sky gets some 37-year-old first-time head coach, Tyler Marsh. So the great coaches aren't looking, hey, how can I go connect with Angel Reese?
The main query at this stage is whether it's worthwhile to pursue this story or if it has already gone too far. That tension is paving the way for a more serious issue, a possible rupture between Rhee and her team that extends beyond the focus of her rivalry.
But she's so toxic, she's so angry, she's so bitter, she's so selfish. No one wants to play with her.
Angel Reese's on-court difficulties are widely known, but what about the backstage rumors that are beginning to imply that her teammates and even some members of her own organization may be growing impatient and that off-court dynamics may be contributing to her current predicament?
Angel Reese, who's supposed to be the star of this team, dodged the press conference. Where is she? I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, what's going on?
For example, missing press conferences, a decision that was heavily criticized by supporters and pundits, has damaged her reputation and may also give the wrong impression to her teammates. For a team facing hardship, those moments count, and when one player is absent, others may feel like they're bearing more than their fair share of the burden, which can cause animosity to simmer subtly but significantly in a locker room.
You do have Sky fans that are turning on Tyler Marsh. They're screaming that Kennedy Carter should be back on the team. Angel Reese should be off the team. It is getting, what's the saying in baseball? It's getting late early.
This is made considerably more difficult by Reese's public image. She has established a strong online presence on social media and developed a brand outside of basketball. Although this has drawn criticism from teammates, according to sources, she spends a lot of time promoting her own story, whether it is her competition with Caitlin Clark or her off-court endeavors, which causes a disconnect from the team's objectives.
God, where the hell is Angel Reese at? She needs to explain some shit. Sky fans are not happy that she did not show up to this press conference on another episode of Ass.
Fans may argue that it's just the way modern athletes work, but being the face of a losing team brings a different level of scrutiny. The focus shifts from marketability to accountability, which can cause teammates to question where one's true focus lies. Basketball is a team sport, and if there's even the slightest indication that someone's priorities aren't 100% aligned with the team, it can cause problems.
Meanwhile, 20 points per game is somewhere in Mexico, autographing and kissing fans' breasts. If Chicago goes 0-5, it's time to bring her back.
Questions concerning whether Reese's manner irritates people have been expressed before regarding her prior appearances. LSU and Maryland, those specifics are still unclear. There were rumors of tense relationships. According to these allegations, not every teammate had fun playing with her. The fact that Hailey Van Lith, her gifted teammate from LSU, left after just one season is what truly sticks out.
I'm not speculating there. People that played with her at Maryland and LSU did not enjoy their experience. Hailey Van Lith, their freshman or their rookie guard, not excited about having to reconnect with Angel Reese.
Although onlookers didn't miss the timing of her transfer, which was never formally linked to tension with Rhee, it begs the issue of whether or not that chemistry is a persistent problem that is affecting her professional career. If there is a history, it seems like a pattern that is more difficult to ignore, and critics have recently begun using the word poisonous when talking about Reese's presence within.
The year she played with Angel Reese in college was the most difficult of her career, and she moved on and hit the portal again just to get away from Angel Reese.
This label, whether true or not, creates noise that no struggling team needs for the Chicago Sky, a team already dealing with record-setting losses. Negativity in the locker room could further derail things, even though no significant controversies have been proven. Perception can quickly shape reality in professional sports.
Chicago Sky, they look perhaps worse than they were a year ago because people don't want to play with Angel Reese.
Past NBA teams have demonstrated through locker room rivalries or star players' conflicts with coaching staff how team dynamics may break down when important individuals are seen as self-centered or uncoachable. The difficult part is distinguishing fact from media rumors. Are her teammates actually betraying her? Or is this merely a story driven by Reese's public gaffes magnified under the microscope of her WNBA struggles? The warning signs are obvious. Chemistry matters, and any fracture can affect everyone's ability to execute on the court.
There should be a message there that people are missing. That this whole persona that she's taken on, it's toxic.
The question now is whether Rhee can change her focus, repair her reputation, and prove her worth to the Chicago Sky before things get out of control. In any case, this suspicion can feed itself. Players sense it, coaches sense it, and when a team feels like it's fighting battles off the court as well as on it, it becomes that much harder to climb out of a slump. Even if none of this tension is real, the perception alone is enough to weigh things down.
I am here to watch what's going to become a very explosive situation amongst that Sky fan base. I said the basketball fans are going to separate.
Angel Reese's difficulties extend beyond her performance on the court and include how people view her off it. The performance problems that are the main critics point to decisions like missing news conferences or putting her image before basketball, raising questions about whether her energy is misdirected. Personal rivalries and the increasing tension within her team all came together to form one enormous obstacle.
And there are literally graphics trumpeting Angel Reese's double-double. Like, that's the thing, the double-double. And I'm thinking to myself, what other player in the WNBA or the NBA would be given an edit or some sort of honor or accommodation in a game where they lost by 35?
Here's the thing. As one commentator put it, redemption is still conceivable. When you wave the white flag, we'll readjust, regain credibility, and demonstrate her belonging. The following 5 games could determine the course of her career.